Well, it's officially the holiday season, y'all, and I'm here to tell you about a little Hallmark-adjacent horror movie to get you in the spirit. Anything for Jackson is the newest Shudder exclusive film directed by Justin G. Dick. It stars Julian Richings and Sheila McCarthy, and it tells the story of an elderly couple who kidnaps a young pregnant woman in order to perform a reverse exorcism on her and implant her unborn child with the spirit of their deceased grandson. So this movie was actually playing at Nightstream a couple months ago, and unfortunately I didn't attend, but having seen this now, I'm kind of glad I didn't see it back in October, because this was the perfect way to kick off December. Justin G. Dick has actually directed a ton of Christmas movies for Hallmark and Netflix, and he manages to mesh a Hallmark movie tone, hi Scarlett, with a very darkly funny horror movie to create this wholly unique original gem. I really enjoyed Anything for Jackson far more than I expected to. I didn't really go into this movie knowing anything or expecting anything, so I was really surprised when I was almost immediately pulled into it by the film's tone and the extended one take that it opens with. Like I said, Justin G. Dick has directed a ton of Christmas movies for Netflix and for Hallmark, and he bizarrely manages to carry that warm family energy from those films into an effectively creepy horror film. It juxtaposes that familial small-town warmth with the cold, chilling isolation of a horror movie, and as a result, you get this film that's equal parts horrifying and funny and gory and emotional. What I appreciated about this movie is how quickly things get going. It hooks you instantly with this long, uneasy one take that holds on Henry and Audrey's living room as they go outside and drag a pregnant woman into their house while the song Daisy loops endlessly on repeat. It showcases almost immediately the type of insanity that you're in for, and it just gradually progresses from there, starting with the ceremony in the opening act, and subjecting you to Henry and Audrey's real-time reaction as things start to unravel. It's once things really start unraveling that this movie gets going, when we're subjected to a missing persons investigation regarding the girl they've kidnapped. At the same time, a series of giggling, Insidious-style spirits are invading their home. And the latter of those is where the horror elements of this movie really get to shine through. Some of the ghosts in this movie are truly disturbing, from a woman who's flossing her own teeth out, literally, to a demon that poses as a ghost in a sheet saying trick or treat, which ends up being way more frightening than I can put into words. And of course I couldn't get away without mentioning my good buddy Twisty Troy, who once again appears in this movie as a gibbering, hopping, contorted demon ghost something that's terrorizing Audrey. It's shocking to me that a director of so many Christmas films is capable of directing such an effective horror movie with minimal jump scares and an effective tone the whole way through. I mean, I'm certainly not complaining, I'm just surprised. The cast is pretty great, particularly Julian Richings and Sheila McCarthy as the leading elderly couple, the Walshes. I love seeing Julian Richings in a leading role. I've seen this dude in so many bit parts over the years and so many monster roles, and the most three-dimensional character I've ever seen him play was Death in Supernatural, and that's not really saying much. So to see him playing such a human, three-dimensional character like Henry is so refreshing. Sheila McCarthy, who some of you may know as Agnes from the Umbrella Academy, is equally great here. Audrey is quite literally maddened by her grief and is willing to do, you guessed it, anything for Jackson. She plays this character so well and with such convincing delusion that you would honestly feel bad for her if she weren't, you know, kidnapping pregnant women and doing satanic cult rituals with unborn children. But that's where the humor in this movie comes into play, and it's very welcome. In spite of all the atrocious things that Audrey and Henry are doing, they approach it with this very white bread, oh golly gee, old people attitude, and it's very funny when it's juxtaposed with the incredibly gory, Evil Dead-esque horror we get at times. They're clearly underestimating the forces that they're tapping into, and it's just as delightfully charming and hilarious as it is terrifying. They're struggling to keep their carefully meticulated plan together, and it's falling apart at the seams at every turn, and as things start getting more and more demonically insane and people start dying in increasingly gory ways, we're watching these two old people struggling to keep it together, and it's very amusing, because they got themselves into this situation on their own. Things do start to slog a little toward the third act with the decision to include more of Ian, who is just a weird one-off Satanist from earlier in the movie that's kind of an awkward dude who's really socially inept. This character is basically a cartoon. He acts at first kind of like Milton from Office Space. I just can't get over how silly this dude's performance is. He brings it from this really fun, dark mirror of a Hallmark film to a full-on Satanic Panic-style, Insidious-inspired finale that doesn't really fit tonally with everything that was set up prior. But it does bring it all back home with a bittersweet conclusion that does see proper justice delivered to all parties. All in all, I did like Anything for Jackson, though. It's among the better Shudder exclusives I've seen this year, which is saying something because they've been on a roll the last few months especially. I'm gonna say that Anything for Jackson is solid. It's got great leading performances, a fun, unique atmosphere, and a ton of really brutal gore and disturbing imagery. It's bizarrely the perfect way to start the holiday season, even though it's technically not a Christmas movie. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, click down there, like, comment, subscribe. We've got a Patreon link down in the description if you want to donate to this channel and be like any of these cool people right here. I would really appreciate it. If you join my $5 Discord tier, you get access to my private Discord server and our monthly movie watches, which are going to be starting this coming Thursday on my birthday. We are going to do our first movie watch. I know I said that we were actually going to be doing it last weekend. My mental health has not been well, y'all. I am also doing my first ever Q&A video on my birthday, so if you're interested in sending me any questions, you can send them to me through Twitter with the hashtag AskFriendly, or you can send them to me through the DMs on my Patreon. Either one works for me. I have no problem with answering anything, pretty much. I'm an open book. You can even get gifts sent right to your door if that interests you. Even $1 would help. I would really appreciate it, but even if you don't, thank you so much for watching anyway, y'all, and I will see you very soon.
Trick or treat.